A large model Showman'S engine part 54, cleaning the ball valve seat. Reprofiling the seat using a milling cutter and a steel ball, then painting the valve body to match the boiler. When the paint was dry, I moved the position of the hole in the casting, which was not in the right place. The final job of the previous episode was to paint the casting using etching primer, and here 24 hours later the etching primer is dry. What I'm about to show is very unorthodox, so please don't write in to tell me I'm doing it wrong. All I'm doing is using an end mill to clean up the seat where the ball valve lives. Being a two-fingered milling machine is quite an acquired skill. If you're going to try this yourself, practice on a piece of scrap metal first. I'm not recutting the seat, I'm just cleaning it up, and if you look down the hole now, it's nice and shiny and fairly clean. The next part of the job is something I would never do, and you will find out why very shortly. I'm placing a stainless steel ball into the valve, and then using an old compressed air fitting and a big hammer, I seat the stainless steel ball in the valve, but there is a problem. I would never normally do this. I would use a piece of brass bar with a centre drilled in the end, and with the ball in place I would hit the brass rod with the hammer. This compressed air fitting is made of very hard metal and it's marked a ball. I'll show you a close-up. You can clearly see a ring around the ball with the pressure of the compressed air fitting. If I use this ball in the check valve, it is not going to seal properly. In fact, immediately after filming this clip, I put it in the bin. In this clip I'm placing the original ball in the valve. This one's made from phosphor bronze and should be fine. Here I'm applying a small amount of Loctite 542 and then screwing the plug into the top of the valve, first finger tight, followed by spannering it on with my Barco spanner. The part that sticks out the top of this valve is to isolate the valve from the boiler, but you never know when it's on or off. So what I've done is made an impression with a centre drill, and when I can see the drilling, that means the valve is on. And here I'm setting it to precisely the right position. Time to test whether the ball seals by using an airline. Check valves are also known as clack valves because of the noise the ball makes as it suddenly slams onto the seat inside the valve. Here's a replay. The hissing you can hear is because the compressed air pipe is not sealing on the inlet. The valve is back together, so now it's time for a bit of painting. This episode is a bit back to front. You'll see why later on in the episode. Sit back and relax. It's painting time, but not for long. This paint that I'm using is Phoenix Precision Paints Crimson Lake, but it's an old tin and it's nearly at the bottom, so the paint is a bit on the thick side. But as this is a casting and it's not perfect, I'm quite happy about that. Castings generally are a bit on the rough side. This is quite a good one, but because the paint is thick, it's less likely to run or sag. And besides, it's a warm day and the paint's going to dry quickly anyway. Once I'd finished the painting job, I cleaned the brush. I generally use the cap of my cellulose thinners can. Once I'd finished cleaning the brush, I looked at the casting and I'd missed a bit. It still looks a whole lot better than it did when it was on the traction engine before I removed it. It's now 24 hours later and I'm cleaning off some of the paint around the plug in the top using a cloth dipped in cellulose thinners and wrapped around a needle file. Now the check valve looks like this. The paint is dry but not fully hardened and it's time to make a gasket. I'm drawing around the casting using my special pencil. The main reason for this strip down is to make the injector work properly. It looks to me like something went wrong when this check valve was made because the hole isn't in the centre. I punched out the two bolt holes in the gasket. They appear not to be in the right place, but that's my bad punching. I put this right when I enlarged the holes to 1/4 of an inch diameter. At this stage I went down to where the traction engine is and using my caliper I took some measurements of the position of the centre hole on the boiler relative to the two studs. And they weren't perfect either. I only want to do this job once. So what I'm going to do is move the position of the hole in the centre of the check valve. But first, a word of warning, do not use a twist drill in a handheld drill like this, because the drill will grab and this will happen. I did actually stage this for the video. The drill was set to the high-speed gear, so when it grabbed it didn't have too much torque. Had it have been set to the low gear ratio, the entire thing could have spun round on the bench, damaging the casting and possibly damaging me. A much simpler and safer method is to use a diamond cutter. I need to enlarge this hole considerably and move it over at the same time. I will probably partially reprofile the hole in the boiler too, but I will do that very carefully with a standard round file. In this clip you can clearly see that the casting now fits the gasket, or the gasket fits the casting. All I need to do now to complete the job is leave the part for a further 24 hours for the paint to fully harden and fit it back on the traction engine's boiler. Hopefully after that the injector should work. Stay safe, stay healthy, thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists you can actually watch the videos back to back.